Listen carefully. If you've been praying, working, giving, and still wondering, when will my financial situation change? This message is for you. Many people believe money changes when luck changes. But God doesn't work by luck. He works by seasons. And here's the truth most people never hear. Your financial season does not change by accident. It changes by alignment. Some of you are not poor, you are simply out of season. Some of you are not failing. You are being prepared. And if you stay with this message until the end, you will understand why your struggle has lasted this long, what God is changing right now, and how to position yourself for the next financial season God has prepared for you. Don't leave early, because the final part of this message may explain everything you're going through today. In nature, nothing grows all the time. There is a season to plant, a season to wait, and a season to harvest. Financial frustration often comes when we expect harvest during planting time. God allows seasons of limitation not to punish you, but to build discipline, wisdom, and faith. If money came before character, it would destroy you. If abundance came before responsibility, it would control you. So God delays the blessing until you can handle it. Your delay is not denial. Your waiting is not rejection. It is preparation. Many people ask God for more money, but still think like people who expect lack. God never upgrades income without upgrading mindset. If you think, I will never have enough, I am always behind, money controls my life, then even if God gives you more, fear will steal it. Prosperity begins inside, not outside. God wants you to think with vision, not desperation, with wisdom, not emotion, with faith, not fear. Your financial season changes the moment your thinking changes. God does not bless shortcuts. He blesses obedience. Some people pray loudly but disobey quietly. You cannot expect financial peace while ignoring financial principles. God honors integrity, generosity, discipline, patience. When you manage little with faith, God entrusts you with more. Obedience may feel slow, but it always leads to lasting abundance. Here is a powerful truth, that God sends increase to prepared people, not hopeful people. Hope without preparation creates disappointment. Ask yourself, can I manage more than I have now? Am I faithful with small opportunities? Am I growing in wisdom or only praying for miracles? Preparation is proof that you believe change is coming. When God sees preparation, He releases provision. Hear this clearly. You are not forgotten. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right where God needs you to be for the next season. The pressure you feel today is proof that growth is happening. The resistance you face is evidence that change is near. So don't quit. Don't doubt. Don't downgrade your faith, because this is not the end of your story. Your season is changing. Your thinking is upgrading. Your preparation is being noticed. And very soon, you will look back and realize God was not withholding from you. He was preparing you. God works by seasons, not by struggles. And this truth can completely change how you understand your financial life. Many people look at their situation and assume that because they are struggling, something must be wrong with them, or that God has turned away. But struggle is not a sign of abandonment. It is often a sign of transition. In nature, nothing grows all the time. There is a time when the ground looks empty, a time when seeds are buried and unseen, and a time when growth is slow and almost invisible. Yet every farmer knows that the season of planting is just as important as the season of harvest. In the same way, God allows financial seasons that test your patience, stretch your faith, and develop your character before He releases increase. A season is not permanent. It has a beginning, a purpose, and an ending. When you understand this, you stop judging your future by your present condition. Financial pressure may feel heavy right now, but pressure does not mean failure. Pressure often means preparation. God uses seasons of limitation to teach discipline, wisdom, and dependence. If abundance came without these lessons, it would not bless you, it would break you. Many people pray for more money, but they have never learned how to manage little. They ask for open doors, but they have not developed the character to walk through them responsibly. God, in His wisdom, protects you from blessings that would arrive too early. When people confuse seasons with identity, they begin to speak negatively about themselves. They say, "I am poor," instead of saying, "I am in a season of learning." They say, "I am failing," instead of saying, "I am being trained." But God never defines you by a temporary season. He defines you by His purpose. The winter does not cancel the promise of spring. The night does not cancel the arrival of morning. In the same way, your current financial struggle does not cancel God's plan for provision. It simply means that something is being developed beneath the surface. Seasons also explain why comparison is dangerous. You cannot measure your life by someone else's harvest when you are in a different stage of growth. Some people are harvesting today because they planted years ago. Others are planting now so they can harvest later. When you compare, you rush what God is trying to build slowly. You become frustrated with the process and begin to doubt the timing. But divine timing is precise. God never arrives late, and He never moves too early. He knows exactly when you are ready and exactly when the blessing will produce peace instead of pressure. Another reason God works by seasons is to teach trust. When resources are limited, you learn where your confidence truly lies. In times of abundance, it is easy to say you trust God. In times of scarcity, that trust is tested. Yet it is in these seasons that faith becomes strong and mature. You learn to listen, to prioritize, and to make wise decisions. You stop relying on impulse and start relying on principle. These lessons stay with you even when the season changes, ensuring that what God gives you will remain. Understanding seasons also keeps you from quitting too early. Many people give up right before change begins. They misinterpret delay as denial and struggle as failure. But seasons shift quietly. One day the ground looks the same, and the next day something breaks through the surface. Financial change often happens the same way. Suddenly an opportunity appears, a door opens, or clarity comes where confusion once lived. What looked stagnant was actually forming something strong underneath. When you realize that God works by seasons, your attitude changes. You stop panicking and start preparing. You stop complaining and start learning. You stop fearing the future and start trusting the process. You understand that this moment, no matter how uncomfortable, is part of a bigger picture. And when the season shifts, as it always does, you will not only experience provision, but you will also have the wisdom and stability to sustain it. Before God changes your money, He changes your thinking, because financial transformation does not begin in your bank account, it begins in your mind. Many people pray for increase while still carrying thoughts shaped by fear, lack, and past disappointment. They ask God for more, but deep inside they expect less. This inner conflict blocks growth, not because God is unwilling to bless, but because the mind has not been renewed to carry what is being requested. Money responds to mindset. If your thinking is small, fearful, or reactive, even large opportunities will feel overwhelming and unsafe. God knows that without a shift in thinking, financial increase becomes a burden instead of a blessing. That is why He works from the inside out. Long before circumstances change, He challenges the way you see money, work, and provision. He teaches you to move from survival thinking to stewardship thinking. Survival thinking asks, how do I get through today? Stewardship thinking asks, how do I manage what I have so it can grow tomorrow? This shift is subtle but powerful, and it determines whether you remain stuck or step into a new season. Many financial struggles are not caused by lack of opportunity, but by unhealthy patterns of thought. Some people think money will solve their problems, so they chase it emotionally. Others fear money because they associate it with stress, conflict, or loss. Both mindsets lead to instability. God wants you to see money as a tool, not a master. When your thinking changes, money no longer controls your emotions. You stop making decisions out of panic, comparison, or pressure, and you start making decisions out of wisdom, patience, and purpose. Renewed thinking also changes how you respond to setbacks. When the mind is not aligned, every delay feels like rejection and every obstacle feels final. But when your thinking is renewed, setbacks become lessons instead of stop signs. You begin to ask, what can I learn here? Instead of, why is this happening to me? This perspective protects you from discouragement and keeps you moving forward even when progress feels slow. God often allows challenges not to reduce you, but to reshape the way you process pressure and responsibility. Another powerful shift happens when God teaches you to think long-term instead of emotionally. Emotional thinking spends quickly, reacts impulsively, and regrets later. Purpose-driven thinking plans, saves, and invests with intention. God understands that emotional decisions lead to cycles of stress, while disciplined thinking leads to stability and growth. That is why He develops patience in you before releasing increase. Patience trains your mind to delay gratification, to wait for the right moment, and to value consistency over excitement. As your thinking changes, your language changes. You stop speaking words of defeat and start speaking words of expectation. This is not denial of reality, it is alignment with purpose. Words shape direction. When you constantly speak lack, you reinforce fear. When you speak faith and wisdom, you reinforce confidence and clarity. God often listens to what you say about your future because your words reveal whether your thinking has truly shifted. A renewed mind also changes how you view yourself. You no longer see yourself as someone who is always behind, always struggling, or always dependent. You begin to see yourself as capable, responsible, and growing. This self-perception matters because people act in alignment with how they see themselves. When your identity shifts from scarcity to stewardship, your actions follow. You become more disciplined, more consistent, and more intentional even before your circumstances improve. This is why mindset change often feels uncomfortable. God challenges familiar thought patterns, exposes limiting beliefs, and invites you to think higher than your past experiences. It can feel slow and frustrating, but it is necessary. God is not just interested in changing what you have, He is interested in changing who you are becoming. When your thinking is aligned with wisdom, faith, and purpose, financial increase no longer threatens you. It fits you. And when the mind is ready, the season changes. Opportunities begin to make sense. Decisions become clearer. Confidence replaces fear. At that point, financial growth is not chaotic or stressful. It is stable and sustainable. God changes your thinking first so that when your money changes, it becomes a blessing that lasts, not a cycle that repeats. Obedience unlocks provision because financial breakthrough is not driven by desperation, effort alone, or emotional desire, but by alignment with principles that God honors. Many people believe that if they work harder, pray louder, or worry less, everything will change. While effort and prayer matter, obedience is the foundation that holds them together. God does not release lasting provision into disorder. He blesses what is aligned, consistent, and faithful. When your actions agree with what you believe, provision flows with peace instead of pressure. Obedience often looks simple, but it requires deep trust. It means doing what is right even when it feels inconvenient, slow, or unrewarding. In financial matters, obedience may mean being honest when dishonesty seems profitable, being patient when impatience promises quick results, or being disciplined when emotions push you to spend recklessly. These choices may not bring immediate rewards, but they build a structure that can support long-term increase. God values faithfulness over speed because speed without wisdom leads to collapse. Many people want the result of obedience without the process of obedience. They want financial stability, but ignore basic principles such as integrity, self-control, and responsibility. Yet obedience is not about perfection, it is about direction. It is a daily commitment to walk in alignment, even when progress feels slow. God watches consistency, not performance. Small acts of obedience repeated over time create an environment where provision can safely grow. Obedience also requires surrender. You must be willing to let go of habits, attitudes, and patterns that no longer serve your future. Some financial struggles persist, not because of lack of opportunity, but because of refusal to change. God cannot bless what you insist on controlling in unhealthy ways. When you obey, you release control and allow wisdom to guide your decisions. This surrender creates space for clarity, correction, and growth. Another powerful aspect of obedience is trust in timing. Disobedience often shows up as impatience. People rush ahead of wisdom, thinking faster is better. But obedience teaches you to move at the pace of understanding, not emotion. God knows that some doors, if opened too early, would lead to confusion and stress. Waiting is not wasted time, it is protection. When you obey timing, you avoid unnecessary losses and learn to value peace over pressure. Obedience also sharpens discernment. When you consistently choose alignment over impulse, your ability to recognize wise opportunities improves. You stop chasing everything that looks good and start choosing what is right. This discernment saves you from costly mistakes and helps you invest your energy, time, and resources more effectively. Provision is not only about how much comes in, but about how much is preserved. Obedience protects what God gives. Financial obedience often reveals itself in small, unseen decisions. No one may notice when you choose discipline over indulgence or honesty over advantage, but these choices matter. God sees what is hidden, and He rewards what is faithful. Many breakthroughs begin quietly, long before they become visible. Obedience builds trust, and trust invites responsibility. When God sees that you handle small responsibilities with care, He increases your capacity for more. It is also important to understand that obedience does not eliminate challenges. It gives you stability during them. Even aligned people face pressure, but the pressure does not break them because their foundation is secure. Obedience anchors you when circumstances shift. It keeps you steady when emotions rise and fear tries to take control. This stability is a form of provision itself, because peace allows you to think clearly and act wisely. Over time, obedience produces confidence. You stop doubting every decision because you know your direction is aligned. You move forward with assurance, not anxiety. This confidence attracts opportunities and partnerships that match your values. People trust those who live with integrity and consistency. In this way, obedience opens doors that effort alone cannot open. Provision follows obedience not because obedience earns blessing, but because it positions you to receive and sustain it. When your life is aligned, increase becomes manageable, growth becomes stable, and success becomes meaningful. Obedience does not always change your situation overnight, but it always changes your direction. And when direction is right, provision will follow in its time. Preparation attracts increase because growth responds to readiness, not wishful thinking. Many people hope for financial change, but never prepare for it. They pray for more, talk about bigger opportunities, and imagine a better future, yet their daily habits remain unchanged. God honors faith, but faith without preparation remains incomplete. Preparation is the visible evidence that you truly believe change is coming. When you prepare, you are not just expecting increase, you are making room for it. Preparation begins with responsibility. How you manage what you have now reveals how you will handle more later. If current resources are handled carelessly, additional resources will only increase stress. God does not send overflow into confusion. He looks for order, discipline, and intentional living. When your life shows structure, increase can enter without creating chaos. Preparation is not about perfection, it is about alignment and consistency. Many people think preparation starts after the blessing arrives, but wisdom prepares before opportunity appears. Athletes train before competition. Students study before the exam. In the same way, financial preparation happens long before financial expansion. This preparation may involve learning, planning, saving, or changing habits that limit growth. These actions may seem small, but they signal maturity. God responds to maturity with trust, and trust with increase. Preparation also shapes your mindset. When you prepare, you shift from dreaming to building. Dreams inspire, but preparation sustains. Without preparation, dreams remain fragile and easily discouraged by delay. With preparation, even slow progress feels meaningful because you know you are moving forward intentionally. This mindset creates patience and focus, qualities that are essential for lasting success. Another important aspect of preparation is skill development. Increase often follows competence. God opens doors, but you must be able to walk through them. If opportunity arrives and you lack the skills to manage it, the opportunity becomes overwhelming. Preparation ensures that when doors open, you step in with confidence instead of fear. Learning, improving, and refining your abilities are all forms of preparation that position you for promotion. Preparation also requires humility. It means acknowledging that growth demands change. Some people resist preparation because it exposes areas that need improvement. But avoiding preparation does not protect you, it delays you. God uses preparation to strengthen you, not to shame you. Every adjustment you make today reduces pressure tomorrow. Every lesson you learn now prevents costly mistakes later. Financial preparation also includes emotional readiness. Many people underestimate how emotions affect money decisions. Sudden increase without emotional control leads to impulsive choices and regret. Preparation teaches you to manage excitement, fear, and pressure with balance. It helps you remain steady when circumstances change. Emotional stability is just as important as financial knowledge when it comes to sustaining growth. When you prepare, you also develop clarity. You know your priorities, your boundaries, and your goals. This clarity protects you from distractions and unhealthy comparisons. You stop chasing every opportunity and start choosing the right ones. Preparation gives you direction, and direction gives your efforts meaning. God often releases increase where clarity exists, because clarity prevents waste. Preparation is not always visible, and that can be frustrating. Others may not notice your discipline or understand your decisions. But preparation is not for approval, it is for positioning. Many breakthroughs are preceded by seasons where nothing seems to change outwardly, yet everything is being strengthened inwardly. God works deeply before he works publicly. When increase finally comes, preparation determines whether it stays. Sudden success without preparation fades quickly. Prepared success grows steadily. That is why God values preparation so highly. It ensures that what he gives you becomes a tool for growth, not a test you are unready to pass. Preparation attracts increase because it proves readiness, maturity, and responsibility. And when readiness meets opportunity, growth becomes not only possible, but sustainable.